Take your brand to new heights with in-flight advertising powered by Viasat Ads. High engagement formats, targeted delivery, and self-service tracking make it simple. Reach millions of travelers across leading airlines in a premium, captive environment. Join their journey with Viasat Ads. Hi, everyone. Today is Wednesday, December 24th. Welcome to Reimagining Retail, an eMarketer podcast made possible by Viasat Ads. This is the show where we talk about how retail collides with every part of our lives. I'm your host, Suzy Davidkhanian. On today's episode, we're closing out the year with our 2025 Retail Awards, our annual look at the moves, strategies, and ideas that truly shaped retail this year. It's our year-end retailer rankings with a little holiday sparkle. So we have 5 categories this year, from Collab of the Year to AI Power Move, and a few of the nominations may surprise you. These are the retailers and brands that left a mark on 2025, the ones that sparked conversations, shifted momentum, or quietly raised the bar. Joining me today, we have Analyst Arielle Feger. Hey, Arielle.
Hey, Suzy. Happy to be here.
So glad that you're here, too. Analyst Rachel Wolff.
Hey, Suzy. Excited for this one.
Me, too. And Senior Analyst Blake Droesch. Hey, Blake.
Hey, Suzy. Good to be back.
Thanks for joining us. Okay, so before we get started with our retail awards, let me quickly walk everyone through how this is going to work. The committee, Arielle, Becky, Emmy, and I pulled together our award categories for 2025, looking across both the headline grabbers and the quieter retail moves that really mattered this year. Then we asked our guests to come up with one nominee for each category. They'll take turns making their case with why their pick deserves to win, and after we hear all the arguments, I'll crown the winner, so let's get started. Our first award is the must-visit store of the year. As you can imagine, this is the store that sets the bar high for experience, execution, or just plain cultural impact. The place everyone in retail had to go see in person. So let's start with you, Arielle. What do you have?
So my pick is Netflix House at the King of Prussia Mall in Philadelphia. I picked it because it's not just a store, it's got a theater, it's got a restaurant, it's got photo ops, and I think it's really just raising the bar for experiential retail.
Love it. Everybody knows how I'm going to vote already. Rachel, what's your pick?
So my pick is TJ Maxx, and I'm going purely based on execution. I mean, they're firing on all cylinders. They're using store closures to grow their footprint. They have all these incredible inventory buying opportunities, and they're just getting more shoppers to stores.
And Blake, I wasn't expecting this one either.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ralph Lauren flagship on the Upper East Side because if we're talking strictly cultural impact, there's so much buzz right now about the Ralph Lauren Christmas, and it seems like it's impacting sort of every segment of shoppers, not just the highbrow. And I think that bias, I live in New York, but it's crowded year round and it really is sort of capturing the moment and sort of an embodiment of that movement right now.
Guys, I'm surprised nobody had Printemps on their list, the department store downtown.
Wasn't impressed when I went.
We thought about adding it to our list, but it didn't make the cut.
So, Rachel, tell me more, because when I think about TJ Maxx, I really don't necessarily think about the store that I really want to go to, even though they're all about treasure hunt.
So I think it depends. I mean, I think, for people who really love scoring deals, which is, I would say, most people, TJ Maxx is kind of the place to go because you can get, cheaper, more affordable brands, but you can also uncover, like a Prada handbag for a fraction of the price. And I think that is a huge draw, both for people who are trying to keep their budgets under control, but also for shoppers who like the idea of being able to buy designer brands for less.
So, Rachel, for you, it's not necessarily about the store itself, but it's the concept that keeps getting people to go, which is why folks need to visit.
It's the concept, but it is also, as you say, the treasure hunt experience of being in a TJ Maxx or a Marshalls and just, sort of wandering the aisles. I think people really like that sense of discovery that comes with it. And I think, plenty of other retailers could learn from that.
Guys, I actually didn't think about Ralph Lauren Christmas, which really is everywhere. But given that Ralph Lauren is a brand that's through distribution as much as it is through its own stores, feels like that's a hard one to execute across all stores. And so I am going with, so drum roll please, to nobody's surprise, Netflix House for the winner.
Win for the committee. Win for the committee.
To be fair, I was not part of the discussion of the different nominees. I was just part of the discussion around the different categories. But if anybody tuned into the November retailer ranking, you will know that I was all in on the Netflix house. And I think it's going to be a very interesting look at how you can merge entertainment and retail into one space. On to category 2, Glow Up of the Year. The brand or retailer that transformed itself this year, a smarter assortment, maybe sharper messaging, stronger vibes, a true before and after moment. And so the nominations are, I'm going to start with Blake. Who do you have?
I'm going to go with Barnes & Noble because I really think they've made good on a lot of their promises to give the stores more of a neighborhood feel, curate the books, and have a great staff. A lot of retailers say they're going to do these big revamps, then you go into the store and there's a detachment from what corporate's saying and reality. Barnes & Noble's really made good on those promises.
I love that. Rachel, what do you have?
So I have Nike, and I will caveat this by saying that the company still has a long way to go to make a full recovery. But I've just been really impressed with how they've, tried to turn things around. They had their Nike Skims collaboration this year, which was apparently the most successful apparel launch in company history. They're, leading in on the WNBA, and they have all these new products coming out. And so I think this is really, a successful strategy that they need to execute to get back on track.
Love it. Arielle?
Yeah, so thinking about this slightly differently, we chose TikTok Shop. I feel like TikTok Shop at first, I think people were a little not sure if they trusted it, not sure if they were, really like, oh, what kind of, brands are going to be on here. But now bigger brands are joining, consumers are buying, and I think it's just really cemented itself as a true marketplace.
Cool. So before I make a decision, I was kind of surprised. There were so many other glow up moments like Claire's coming out of bankruptcy I thought might make your list. Tell me more about what is it with the Nike revamp? I'm sorry, Rachel, it's always you I keep coming to. Tell me more about what it is that makes Nike deserve that in 25 versus if this was 26 awards.
Yeah, I mean, I see your point. I guess I'm voting against my own submission. But I think to me, it's not just about maybe the results, but also what companies are doing. And I think Nike just had such a big mountain to climb. It was really losing a lot of the momentum to Adidas, to On Running. And the fact that it's been able to regain a lot of that prominence in such a short time, I think is a testament to, as I said, just how strong its strategy is and how well it's executing.
Got it. And Blake, for Barnes & Nobles, it almost feels like there's not that much competition, so the glow up might not be so hard. Tell us more about that.
Yeah. Have you heard of Amazon? It's a pretty big competitor
I mean,
in the
but
book
in
space.
stores, right?
Yeah, but you're looking at a category that has the highest e-commerce penetration in basically all of retail. It's like 85%, I think. When e-commerce is that dominated, then you are competing against the pure play e-commerce players. So I think in that case, it's Amazon. And the draw for Barnes & Noble to really sort of, and look, they're not necessarily winning back share of the market, but the fact that they're surviving in a business that has been really battered, not just because of e-commerce, but because of the just decline of interest in books in general, I think is really just a testament to a smart business model.
Let's make reading cool again.
I know, right? Well, I think this is where all the local bookstores really do such a great job. It'll be interesting to see if Barnes & Nobles can really continue to feel like a local bookstore, even though it's a national chain.
Yeah, and I do think that they've been able to do that. I think, again, just a sort of local example, when there's a large Barnes & Noble in Co-op City in the Bronx that closed a number of years ago. And, for neighborhoods like that, like Barnes & Noble was the local bookstore. I think there are a lot of areas where, decades ago, the idea of having a sort of a mom and pop went out the window. So I think Barnes & Noble sort of like took that space for better or for worse, right? So it was kind of like the chain coming in and displacing the local store. But now in a situation where the circumstances have changed and it's sort of like Barnes & Noble or bust, I think that consumers are looking at the chain in a different way than maybe they would have like a few decades ago. And I think that's working to their favor as well.
Drum roll, please. And the winner is Barnes & Nobles. Me too. I'm very excited that the bookstore is back, that people are excited to go back to the store, whether it's to do, homework, read a book, flip through a magazine, have a coffee, meet with friends. And so I wish them continued success.
I will say that the committee, we did talk about Barnes & Nobles being one of the must-visit stores. So I definitely will throw an agreement here with Blake on it being, doing a really good job.
I love it. For award number 3, it's net new for 2025. Of course, we can't have an award ceremony without talking about AI in some way. So our award number 3 is called AI Power Move. This is the most meaningful, not just hype use of AI in retail, whether it drove efficiency, creativity, or a real customer win. And the nominees are, Rachel, who's on your list?
So I went with what I think is kind of the obvious choice, which is Walmart. And that's mainly for their partnership with ChatGPT. And there are a few reasons. One is that it opens itself up to purchases on ChatGPT, which could position it well if agentic commerce gains adoption, but also because of how it sets itself up against Amazon. Amazon has been very protective of its marketplace and of AI commerce in general. And so I think this definitely puts Walmart in a more favorable position compared to its biggest rival.
Blake, who do you have?
I'm going to cheat a little bit because we didn't say specifically Gen AI or AI commerce. So I'm going to go Amazon in the ways that they're using AI to power innovation to basically just get people their items faster. And I think, when we think about AI, people are really not using it for shopping yet. So I think that the experimentation is neat, but where I think Amazon is winning is leveraging technology to, make those core aspects of retail better. And for e-commerce, it's all about speed of delivery.
And Arielle?
I'm glad Blake said he cheated because we also cheated a little bit. So we nominated Pinterest for this. While Pinterest isn't a retailer per se, it is pursuing making its platform much more shoppable and doing that through a lot of AI upgrades, helping AI powered boards. They're also doing it on the ad side, helping advertisers do smarter campaigns with AI. And they're also doing it to help, make sure that what's on their site is brand safe. They're using it for, making sure the content is suitable for both brands and consumers. So they're just using it in a lot of different ways.
I think one of the most interesting things about Pinterest and AI is how they're using it to get rid of AI slop or reduce the amount of AI slop on its platform, which I think is very smart.
Yeah.
So I also think Pinterest is trying to be a retailer, right, in terms of being a digital mall and making the pins. What I didn't grasp, though, is how they're using AI to facilitate the shopping. Do they have any new tools?
So they did, one of the latest things is the AI-powered boards. It's not a direct shopping experience, but these boards kind of have just a more personalized way to browse. They can kind of, there's a Make It Yours tab that recommends products and content, and it gives you kind of more ideas. It helps you kind of iterate and continue to think. So again, just helping it do what it does, which is serve inspiration and content. And then I think they're also, working on the more shoppable technology as well.
Drum roll, please. And the winner is not only because she followed instructions, but because I also think that Walmart is really pulling some power moves in that they're both creating their own tools that are customer facing to make the customer's life easier, but also colleague facing, store associate facing. And they're playing with other people in the sandbox so that they don't get left out. And now on to award number 4, Collab of the Year. The partnership that actually made sense, that lifted both brands, sparked conversation, or created something shoppers genuinely wanted. And the nominations are Arielle.
So we nominated Nike and Skims, which Rachel had already mentioned. So I like that there's
So I made your pitch for you, is what you're saying.
You did. You said it was, I think, the most successful collaboration. So yeah, I mean, it's two big brands. It's two big brands with a lot of name recognition. And I think it just kind of makes sense, for them to come together.
So for listeners who were not necessarily paying attention, what was the collab?
So it's basically a collection of athleisure apparel plus underwear, workout clothes. It's kind of a wide-ranging launch. But the interesting part about it is that it's not just a collection. It's a sub-brand, the same way that Jordan is a sub-brand for Nike. So they really are going all in on the Skims collaboration.
You are doing my work for me. I love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. Rachel, let's keep going. Tell me who you had.
So my nominee is Best Buy and IKEA. And I thought, this was a collaboration that I never saw coming, but I also think it makes perfect sense. I mean, IKEA has a lot of brand recognition, but not that many stores in the US. So, with these new shop-in-shops in Best Buy, they can get their products in front of more people. For Best Buy, it's another way to get shoppers into their stores and to think about which appliances might fit in with their new kitchen setup. So I think it's a great partnership.
And Blake?
I chose the collaboration between J. Crew and the New Yorker magazine. The New Yorker celebrated its 100th anniversary this year, and that collaboration sort of paid tribute to the anniversary. I think it's unique when a publication, a cultural institution does something with an apparel brand. So two unique companies, and just both really fitting into that sort of like preppy Americana cultural trend that we're seeing right now, sort of akin to the Ralph Lauren Christmas. So
yeah, and given how many people have New Yorker tote bags, I can see a wide-ranging appeal for J. Crew.
For sure.
Blake, for people who aren't as familiar with the collab, can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, it was basically an apparel line of J. Crew clothing with the New Yorker logo incorporated on rugby polos and sweaters and things of that such. They had like a New Yorker white Oxford shirt with the New Yorker cartoon on the breast pocket. So things like that, basically just your classic J. Crew clothing lines with their standard products with some New Yorker branding on it.
And do you feel like New Yorker and J. Crew have an overlap in consumers, or this was a broaden my horizon play?
No, I think it's sort of two brands that sort of occupy a similar cultural ethos that are kind of just playing into each other.
And then Arielle, I want to ask you the same question about Nike and Skims.
Yeah, I feel like I would say they do both feel like they have a similar ethos. I mean, obviously Skims is a little more cutting edge controversial, I would say, than Nike. But I do feel like athleisure is kind of the middle of that Venn diagram of Nike with athletics and Skims with more shapewear and lingerie. And so they're meeting in the middle with athleisure.
Drum roll, please. So the winner is the New Yorker and J. Crew. And I think it's really such an interesting example of bringing together two heritage brands and trying to find the right overlap, but also potentially extend on the margins in a understated, it sounds like, way.
My literary picks are doing well today.
Yeah, good job.
I have been homesick, so I have been reading. That's not even true. I would like to make a tie-in. I can't even keep my eyes
She cannot
open.
tell a lie.
Can't even keep my eyes open. On to Award 5. It's the last one for 2025 Campaign of the Year. The marketing idea that broke through the noise, resonated most memorable, and potentially performance driving. And the nominations are... Blake, tell me yours.
I think just marketing campaigns are most successful when they're really just short and to the point. People just get it without it needing a ton of explanation. And I hate to bring back up this company yet again, but I'm going to go with Nike reintroducing their Just Do It campaign, changing it to Why Do It, which sort of appeals to the younger generation in a way that I think and I want to ask, like, when you heard that slogan and say we're trying to appeal to the younger generation, to you, was it like intuitive why it makes sense?
I think so, to me.
To me, it made sense too, without having, and like I was thinking, like, how am I going to necessarily like sum that up? But I think the fact that like it's not even necessary just like speaks to very good creative, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Rachel.
I'm the ambassador here. Okay, so I nominate Sydney Sweeney's campaign with American Eagle. I know that there has been some consensus on this topic from the committee.
the committee. So please chime in, Arielle.
Yeah, I was going to say that this was our pick too. It's kind of hard to talk about marketing or advertising in 2025 without this being something that you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, this campaign broke the internet. According to American Eagle, they got something like nearly 800,000 customers in the first month on the basis of this campaign. They got 40 billion impressions. So from a numbers standpoint, it was wildly successful. And it probably got a lot of people to think about American Eagle differently, maybe, than they had thought about it in the past. So all in all, it was a win.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Because I know we've discussed this on the podcast, but I haven't been on those. Do we think that they knew that it would inspire that type of outrage? Like, was that intentional, or did they kind of just like blindly step into this sort of viral moment, right?
Wouldn't I like to know?
Yeah.
I truly don't know. Like, it's hard for me to imagine being in those discussions with that campaign wording and not being like, oh, like a little alarm bell is ringing.
But that happens.
It
like
does.
An unbelievably like
exactly.
often,
like, it's also like a very real thing for people to kind of overthink something to the point of not thinking about it at all.
I think my
Right.
sense is that it was unintentional, and that,
Yeah.
they just kind of, once it happened, they're like, this is great. This is more attention for our brand. And
Exactly.
they just doubled down. They were like, this is exactly what we wanted to happen from, the kind of response we wanted.
Well, and I think accidental or not, that they didn't step back and say like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry,
Right.
but that
Yeah.
they leaned in, right?
Doubled
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
I mean, their
was
CMO said that
fascinating.
it performed beyond. The CMO was like, it performed beyond any marketer's wildest dreams, which is undoubtedly true.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, like, gives meaning to all press is good press, which, I don't know if I love that, but it certainly has been proved true.
But it's also the kind of thing that's very difficult to replicate.
Yes. Yeah. And I
yeah.
think that we're now probably going to see an uptick in companies trying to replicate this and maybe failing.
Okay, so I now need your help with this one because on the one hand, you both agree on AE, American Eagle. On the other hand, you each have nominated Nike for different awards. So tell me why Nike shouldn't be winning this one.
I mean, it's a good. So I think with Nike, if we had an award of like, I don't know, trying hardest. I don't know. I really can't think of exactly the term that I think Nike's campaign is part of a broader strategy where they are really just trying to claw back some of the share that they've lost and really turn themselves around. So I think when I'm looking at an isolated campaign, I do like the why do it, but I also think that once again, like, if you just asked 1,000 people on the street what was the biggest marketing campaign, I feel like this Sydney Sweeney one would be the most recognized.
I think that's totally fair. I think,
Oh, is it?
yeah, if you ask people what was Nike's campaign this year, no, like, few people on the street would know. If you ask them, like, what commercial did American Eagle run this year, everyone would know.
And I really do like Nike's campaign. I don't want that to I really do. I just think I was going for buzz, not, anything else.
Drum roll, please. I was originally going to give it a tie, but I think Blake convinced me that American Eagle should be the winner.
Thanks, Blake.
Thanks, Blake.
So was Nike nominated every time but didn't win a single one?
In
my gosh,
in
no,
3
you-
of the 5.
3 of the 5.
Yeah. And so that's a great question. So I'm going to remind everybody who the winners were. For our must-visit store of the year, we had Netflix House. For Glow Up of the year, we had Barnes & Noble. For AI Power Move, Walmart. For Collab of the year, J.Crew. And for our campaign of the year, American Eagle.
Can we give Nike an honorable mention?
We
I
can
do feel
now.
kind of bad now.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Arielle.
Thank you. This is great.
Thanks, Blake.
Thank you.
And thank you, Rachel.
Thanks, Suzy.
And thank you to the team who edits the podcast, and of course to everyone listening in to Reimagining Retail, an eMarketer podcast made possible by Viasat Ads. Please leave a rating or review and remember to subscribe. I'll see you next year, Wednesday, January 7th, for our first episode of the new year, talking about our 2026 retail trends. Until then, Merry Christmas to those celebrating, and here's hoping everyone finds a great post-holiday deal and a happy, healthy new year.